We're here at Lexington Locals, and this is one of my favorite places. So Jonathan McPhee, the maestro of the Lexington Symphony, which if you've never been, is amazing. I have an aunt who's a music teacher, and she thinks the Lexington music is like so supreme, you don't have to go to Boston. You stay right here in Lexington.
That's the message I like to hear. Yes, we're standing in front of Cary Hall, which is the home of the Lexington Symphony. And one of the nice things, actually, I hear that frequently. Here we are in downtown Lexington, couldn't be a better location. Head to a dinner before the concert. You can see masks, boy are we waiting for this to be over. And you've also seen the doors are closed at Cary Hall. We have actually been broadcasting through this whole pandemic by getting special permission to go into the building. But we are really looking forward to having those doors open and seeing all of you at Cary Hall starting October.
Oh.
We're committed to that. Nice. October. Yeah.
Nice. So tell me, like, what does your season look like at the Symphony? What does it consist of?
We have a pattern of various symphonic pieces. I can't tell you the program yet,
No, you
we're
have
about
to tell
ready
us.
to, We're about ready to roll that out, but we always have Holiday Pops, which is the first weekend in December, and that is one of the big sellout crowds. We have a special Kids Pops, which oddly enough sells out first, and it's an audience of like 4-year-olds to 8-year-olds for the most part, but it's their first introduction, I think, to classical music. And then January for us is one of the most important programs, which is our Orchestrating Kids Through Classics, and that's every single 3rd and 4th grader in this area actually comes and sees a symphony concert. We give them the history of Western music all in 1 hour.
Nice.
Which is pretty good.
That's fast.
It is fast. And then May is Pops for us, and it's frequently music from the movies, sometimes movies that go to Broadway, but that's the theme for the piece, for the program.
And you have something in October to start it out.
We have October, November, February, April. So there's quite a few, almost one per month.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And how many people are in the orchestra?
Orchestra varies depending on what the piece is, from 60 to 75. New World Chorale is going to be singing with us this year as well in the spring, April. So that adds another 65 people to it. We fill the stage.
Yeah. And how often do you practice, right? Like some of these pieces?
The week before, we have actually 3 rehearsals, dress rehearsal, and we're on.
That's it?
It's a professional orchestra, yeah.
So they practice on their own?
They practice
It's not
on
like
their own.
a 10th grader playing piano. These people practice on their own and show up ready to... And then, so what is your job when they show up then, the first?
To organize the whole thing into, and ensemble playing is something that's probably the conductor's biggest job, is not only to make sure everybody's playing together and in balance, but also to make sure that there's one interpretation, because all musicians have their own idea about how a piece could go. And if you have, on your Spotify channel or Alexa, and you say, play me Beethoven's 5th Symphony, and ask for different orchestras or different conductors, you'll find that the interpretations are very different. And that's one of the nice things about live music, is it's never exactly the same from performance to performance.
And so your job isn't to make, you put a personality on it.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it.
So you have a personality that you're bringing to it, what you think it's supposed to sound like to you, and then to your players.
And to make it even more complicated, each player has their own personality with that piece. So it's like somebody who manages all the different personalities to make one cohesive musical performance.
And so is there any part of your job that you don't like or is nerve-wracking? I mean, you're up there, you know, you've got your back to people, right? Like, what does that feel like?
Well, it's interesting you bring up your back to people, because one of the things that the pandemic in particular has made all of us musicians aware of, I may have my back to the audience, but I'm always aware that the audience is there. And you really can feel an audience's response, and the musicians on stage can feel it too. So the difference between a rehearsal and a performance is rehearsal you have no audience, performance you have an audience. And just like a stand-up comedian can tell if the audience is with them or not, we can feel the same thing in our audience, even though they're not really saying anything to it. You just feel if they're going with you or they're.
And can you
on
get
edge.
different reactions, right? You play it, and then like one night the audience isn't with you, and then the next night the audience is like so with you, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's amazing. The audience brings with them an energy that you really can feel. And in fact, when you do multiple performances of the same piece, I do a lot of ballet conducting, and conducting ballets, you will do Swan Lake 6 times in a row.
Right.
And night to night, you can tell where the audience is. And you know, if you have bad weather and the audience is a little on edge, you feel it.
right?
So the audience is really important to us, and especially now, we've been playing in there to an empty hall. And then it goes out on video that people watch, and what we've tried to do to make up for the fact that there's no audience is that all of our premiere shows this last year have been live, where we've had people call in real time to answer questions, so they've gotten to know the musicians in a way they normally wouldn't on the concert
That's
stage.
nice. So, how do you become the director of a symphony? Like, you know, are you 5 years old and you think, I want to be the director of the symphony?
How much time do
We
you
have
have?
time, we have time. You know, give me the 60-second
Okay,
elevator.
60-second thing. No two conductors ever have the same route to a career.
Okay.
That's kind of unique in itself. For me, I was talking earlier about our educational programs for third and fourth graders. I was in third grade? No, I was in first grade when I first saw an orchestra that came to the school when I was yay high. I think I was about 6, actually. And I just was completely taken in by the fact that this person was standing in front of an orchestra, and for me it was all about communication. So for my little brain, I was thinking, he's thinking the music, and all of those people are playing what he's thinking. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So I went home and told my parents, I'm going to be conductor, and they said, sure. And actually I never deviated
Never
from
wavered.
that. So it was a matter of, as I got older, what do you need to have in your skill set? What experiences do you need? And I played piano, and concert instrument was oboe.
Okay.
And I believe that you need to be able to play as well as anybody that you conduct. So I always had like 2 tracks, as a player and as a conductor. Went to England and studied there first, and then went to New York and went to Juilliard. And then you start working your way through.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So, I know you said no one gets the same path, but do you find most people have played an instrument in an orchestra first and then stepped up for whatever reason?
Yeah, most that is one consistent thing. I think every conductor has to play an instrument. I mean, you have to be able to read music and transpose the instruments
And have respect
that.
from your players, that you
yes.
have sort of an understanding of their position.
Well, they know immediately how much you know about their instrument, as
Okay.
well as the musical score. and each instrument's got its own idiosyncrasy. So it's sort of like being able to talk different languages within the orchestra, like bassoon language or violin language.
People want to come. How do they get tickets? You have, I know you have season tickets and stuff, but you can get day of.
Yes,
buy them
there are
online.
walk-ups you can get day of. I urge people, you can get tickets by either going through Spectacle Management's website
Okay.
or go directly to lexingtonsymphony.org to get your tickets, or show up on the day and come in.
Right. It's awesome. Buy the whole season. You won't be sorry.